Michael as well. So thank you, Michael. Well done. Fabulous session. Really appreciate that. Our next speaker is Emma Hiscock, and Emma is speaking on the new Digital Speechcraft program. So Emma has been a Toastmaster for quite a few years. She jumped out for a little while and then jumped back into Toastmasters again. Emma has used many of her skill sets out into the workforce, and now she's a member on not only one, but I think a couple of boards. As an executive board member, she's used those skill sets she's picked up in Toastmasters. She is the president of one of the clubs in Adelaide, and she has used so many resources and skills that she has developed through her Toastmasters journey. I'd love to welcome Emma Hiscock to deliver the Digital Speechcraft. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you, Sue. Wow, that was a really lovely introduction. I'm glad this is being recorded because I'll probably sit down and write that out. That was lovely. Thank you. I'm the state's Speechcraft coordinator for SA, and Toastmasters, obviously, you would have heard along the traps that they have removed the manual printed Speechcraft, well, bundles, I guess you could call them, and now moved it all online. And something that's been in the pipelines for a couple of years now, and they've actually made it. I could sit here and talk about how everyone feels about it, but I'm not. I ran a workshop the last Wednesday, and I said we can park all of our concerns and our barriers and our hurdles, and we're going to plow ahead and look at what we can actually achieve with it. You know, the great thing about Speechcraft now being a digital bundle is that, well, for starters, you don't have to worry about losing your booklet. You know, how your members or your participants come to your session and they go, oh, I've lost my booklet. You go, oh, damn, I don't have a spare one. Oh, they go, do you have a PDF? And you go, and you say, well, no, because that's not how it's actually available. So everything is online, and it's nice because it tunes in with our new members who are joining via Speechcraft via Pathways. So it all ties in quite nicely. And I remember that Speechcraft had changed, so they said, yeah, we don't give any credit for speeches. Now, in this day and age, well, and probably before our times as well, people don't like to do anything for nothing. I know we all like to get something out of it. It doesn't matter what that could be. That could be different for everybody in the room. Personally, if I was doing Speechcraft, I'd love to get credit of my speeches going towards my pathways. You've done all that hard work, and having to go back to the beginning. Oh, what a drag. But I'm only speaking from personal experience. Others might like to do it actually again. Now, there's a few things with the Speechcraft bundle. Unfortunately, there's nothing tangible that we can look at. Not like where we couldn't even have a look at the pack that was online, the printed ones. So it's sort of that unknown area, but there's a solution. I'm going to see if I can share my screen. I'll just get rid of those. I've got this one up. Okay, let's see what I can do. Ooh. Because I'm going to show you how you can find all of this out without too much hard work. And think of it this way. It's 1 hour of your time that you can invest. All right, it's an investment. That's what I love. So can everyone see my screen of the Toastmasters website? Thumbs up would be good. That way I know you haven't fallen asleep or run away. Oh, yeah, Michael, thank you very much. I can only see 5 heads at the moment. Great. This is a great spot. I'll pop the links up in the chat, but the Toastmasters website, they recorded the webinar that they did where they talked about what the digital Speechcraft bundle would look like. It was great. The ladies who ran it talked through all the different aspects. They showed all of the screens. They explained all the steps that you need to take. Have a look at it. It's fantastic and it makes sense. You may have to invest maybe an extra hour of your time and rewatch it, because that's what I'm going to have to do. I take a bit longer to absorb things. But they didn't just stop there. They've also got some other resources available. So if you type in, actually probably don't talk to me about their search function because I cry every time that I use it. If you add too many words in, it gets upset. So if you just type Speechcraft into the search function up the top, it will bring up a number of resources that are available for Speechcraft. So it will give you, hopefully you're all seeing my next screens. It should just show as I click over. There's a Toastmasters Speechcraft program that'll give you a nice overview of what's actually involved with it. So it really hasn't changed from the manual. Okay, you still have to do your icebreakers. You've still got to learn how to do evaluations. You still look at the, like, getting to the point, you know, doing your body language, your vocal variety, and how to choose words that are going to have that great impact and meaning. All the things that we cover in Toastmasters, but obviously, as I say, or some people have said, Speechcraft is Toastmasters on steroids in a very short time. You can still run it over that 4, 6, or 8 week time frame period. But the great thing, as I said, it's all online, it's all digital. Now, I talked about getting some credit for speeches that your participants have done. So while Speechcraft is a program, obviously, that you as clubs would, you know, step up and run, you still have a coordinator who oversees it all. Still go through your state Speechcraft coordinator. So obviously me for SA and Carl for Victoria and Tasmania. Why? Well, we need to keep track of where things are at and what courses are happening across the state. But we can also help, say, talk through some of the problems that you might be having, or because this is a new platform, we'll get people who are quite happy and comfortable and go, yeah, I'll get in there. But we'll get others who will probably say, yeah, I don't know, I don't think this will work. Well, Carl and I should be able to help either talk through some of your concerns or at least try and make it a little bit easier, point you in the right direction. Okay, so as I was saying, with Speechcraft, I'll jump back now that I've gone a bit sideways. You can get credit for your speeches, and yeah, I'm someone who I need it written down, and luckily, Toastmasters have done that. Thank goodness. I'm not sure if they had me in mind when they were writing this, but it helps. They actually tell you what you're going to get credit for, because you can link this in with the Pathways program. So obviously, if you don't do any speeches, you'll get nothing. But if you start to do your icebreaker, you know, and all the steps that are actually in there in the digital pack, you will get credit for those. So if you're looking, you know, people come to Speechcraft for different reasons. They'll come because they want a very quick course that's going to make them a really good speaker so they can go over and do their presentation that they've got for work. What people tend to forget is that if you don't continually practice a skill, you'll never advance it or feel more confident and comfortable, because the more you practice, obviously, the easier it gets. So you'll get those people, I just want to come in and say, fix my problem now, help me. You go, okay. Then you'll get others who'll go, I actually need to do a big presentation and I'm thinking about continuing so I can develop my skills. Great. Get them in. The quicker we can get them onto the Pathways one and make it as smooth and easy, and that they're actually recognised for the work that they have done and put in, they'll go, this is great. There's nothing worse than you do all of this work and then they go, now do another icebreaker. You go, again, really? No. So it's great, and it tells you right here what speeches you'll get credit for. Now, you're probably all thinking, how am I going to actually access this digital pack? Well, you can order it online from TI. Okay, and there was a link on there, you know, if you watch the video as well. But they also have a coordinator start guide. I love guides. I'm a policy, process, procedures guide girl, you name it. I've got it. Love making the pictures. So this is great. It will step you through it, and it will tell you what to do, give you some links. It will talk about it. It will tell you how to set it all up. Now, the thing with this digital bundle, it it comes in a pack of 5. So you have 5 access, right? So 5 people. And when they say digital, it doesn't mean that this program has to be run online. No, you can run it in person, you can run it online if you want to, or you can run a hybrid. So you can do whatever you want to do with this program, okay? It just means that all the resources, like with our pathways, when we're doing our speeches, everything is in the online platform, so you can't lose it, you can find it, they can track themselves. And it's a great introductory to getting used to TI online. So it'll step through everything, blah, 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 and what you need to do. I won't talk too much about the steps because, no. So, you know, look here, they've got a lovely page that lists out all of your resources. So you as the coordinator can access all of these resources. Now, it was a while back when I attended the webinar that they held, but they did say, I'm pretty sure that none of your support coordinators can access this. I've got a feeling, but I have to go back over and watch the video. But either way, it's all there so you can keep track. You can even give them little badges and, you know, pins along the way to say, yay, well done, and to help encourage them. Now there was, now I should quickly also just mention the fees for, I think it's about $50 or something for the digital pack. That's 50 US. So whatever that equates to, that must be about 80 Australian dollars or something. We still need to abide by the rules that TI have in place about fundraising and what we can charge for the Speechcraft courses, which is the 90 US, which equates to about just under 120 Australian dollars. I guess if we don't abide by their rules, they will get very, very, very upset with us as a district. So we don't want to upset them. And yeah, so that's good. All right. Now you've seen that we've got a guide for the coordinators. It's there to make your life easy. And look, the thing is, you don't know how it's going to go until you actually get in and do one. I'll be honest, we've had a lot of our clubs drop off, not obviously able to deliver a Speechcraft course, obviously not last year, and not looking at the immediate future for this year. There might be some umming and ahhing, but not a large number. And that's come down to obviously looking at our club membership and skills within our clubs as well. So it's sort of double. But look, if this is something that you're really keen to do, go for it. Why not? Because the thing is that you can bring your club along with you as a Speechcraft coordinator, okay? So you can, because you'll still need presenters, you'll still need people to evaluate, you still need to organise the whole event. I can't remember, Sue will be able to correct me as well, and probably Michael, but I think we can use this as one of the HPLs, but it does go towards credit, towards your DTM. I'm getting a nod. Yeah, so, you know, you're going to get something out of it. And it's fun. I've done lots of Speechcraft courses. It's fun. There's a lot of fun with it. And it's great seeing people develop. So there are obviously some benefits for you guys as well. That's a learning experience. All right. Let me go to, we've talked about the coordinator guide, and there's one more. Oh, yes, another guide. I'm very happy. This is for your participants. There's nothing worse than being told, hey, yes, you're joining something, but having no guide and being expected to click on things, and then you get lost. Oh, not good. Well, they've got a participants quick start guide as well. That's great. It steps it through. So all the materials, all the supports are there. And you know, the other great thing is that because we're a big family, but we're a small family because we all tend to know each other. There's always others around you who'll be able to help and support. You know, if you look at it, it's even got some questions in there, lovely for them, so they can actually step through and become familiar with the program before they go anywhere. I think I've covered all my points. I'll just check. I've got my little cheat notes here. Yep. So I guess to summarise, that looks as though I'm going to be finishing well ahead of time. That's a bit embarrassing. I think that's probably the quickest I've ever spoken for. Oops, I usually go over. Quite badly. But really to summarize is yeah, it's a new platform. They've transitioned. The manuals are no longer available. You can't even find them on the TI site. They're not there. Go with the digital, right? If you've got an idea, talk to your club and say, I want to do this because I want to develop some component, obviously, of me, right? I want to do it. Get their buy-in. Work out how you're going to get your members. You can buy it as a 5-pack, so you only have to put 5 people through the Speechcraft course. If you've got 10 people who are interested, you buy a 2nd pack and you marry them together. So you can go up to 10 people. You can still have that big cohort. I mean, like I said, you've got Carl and I, you can float your ideas past us. That's what we're here for. Contact us. Let us know that you're doing a Speechcraft course. I'm going to be cheeky, Carl, here and actually say that Carl does have a digital Speechcraft course in the pipeline. So there is one coming up. Okay, so there's already a club who's going to be doing the digital Speechcraft course. Draw from them. They're getting into it. Fantastic. Find out. We're going to learn from each other's growth and get some hints and tips on how we can make it a bit easier. If we see there's anything majorly different, probably won't be. It should just grasp it and get in there and do it. More about positivity. Remember, there are guides. Look at them. They're there to support you. And there's this amazing video, and it is. The webinar is really, really good. Remember, this is 1 hour of investment. So it's 1 hour of your time that you're going to invest into developing yourself, and therefore you'll be able to also apply that across to your club as well. So please don't shy from it. Please, embrace it. Sue, I think I've sort of covered those parts. There's not really too much that I can add on there, but from the South Australian angle, because I've been doing the role obviously for the last couple of years, I have a number of resources. So from the SA side of things, I've got my little guides if clubs are interested, so they can understand all the extra hidden things that you have to do in the background, like picking your team, who to put into the roles, talking about those sorts of things. And that's it. So our Carl's and my details available on the D73 website, and I'll pop these things up in the chat function as well. And back to you, Sue. I'm well ahead of time.
Thank you, Emma.
Michael's got his hand up. Yep.
I think there will be some definite questions already out of this, so definitely stay on, because although you say Speechcraft, Toastmasters is on steroids through the Speechcraft session, I think that's a great way of putting it. And how simple is it to be able to offer this to your members as a way of stepping up as well? So running a Speechcraft can also develop your club members, and this, while you're developing your own skills, is doing this course by teaching it to others. By teaching, you actually learn more about your own skill sets as well. Emma did mention about gaining new members for your club, but as some clubs are very short on members, it would be good to team together with another club and not only be your own club, but share the potential members you get out of it with others as well. So maybe team with a strong club who are happy to share whatever members you gain from it, or a corporate club who have like 50 or 60 members and they're itching for those additional opportunities to speak and help run this sort of thing. And certainly download those coordinator guide, the quick start guide and the participant guide, because it really will gain additional knowledge for you before you step into doing it. But I'm sure there's lots of questions, so put your hand up and we'll...
Sue, I think Michael's got a good point. He's put something in the chat. I know he's keen to say something.
No, there's something else. Most people tend to think of Speechcraft as something you use to get new members. But I think with this new Speechcraft, it's a way of new members to be progressed through your club. If you get 5 new members, and clubs generally need to get about 8 new members per year, but if you get 5 new members and you put them through that, they are getting credit for their speeches. They are progressing a little bit faster than normal, but they are progressing. And then they've got the skills to help go further. So when you get new members, if you get 5 new members, run a Speechcraft, because it then also benefits the existing members, because they have to be the mentors, they have to be the guiders for those new members. But those new members get fast-tracked to get their skills up to at least completed level 1, done 1 project from level 2 and their 2 level 3 electives. They're progressing really fast.
Thanks so much,
And
Michael.
it's a great way of...
Yep, great way of combining it to be a win-win for everyone. Are there questions, more questions for Emma or Carl? Because Carl is the Speechcraft coordinator as well as the program quality director. So he overviews all of the education and training in the district. Carl.
Yes, and this is a question for myself being in that role, because obviously this is all new. So we're all learning about this. And as Emma mentioned, I'm actually about to start a digital bundle Speechcraft as of Monday. I'm just waiting for the names to come through for a corporate. So I will actually get some hands-on then, because I haven't had hands-on, and that will then help a great deal. There's just a couple of things, Emma, and you might be able to fill in the dots here. First thing is, when someone becomes a Speechcrafter, as they call it, a participant, and they access the program and you do the training course, there's a limited access time to that Speechcraft course afterwards. So it's not, once they get access to that, they can access it forever. There's a time limit on how long they can get into that digital bundle. And I can't remember if it's 6 weeks or 3 months. What can you remember what it is?
No, I can't remember, but I'm glad you remember that from the webinar that they did. Yeah. No, I can't remember the time frame. Michael might, he's putting his hand up, but it'd be good to watch the video again.
Yeah, it's in the video.
It's not that I've got the answer, but I've got a question on that. If they are a Speechcrafter and they transition to a member, do their various things transition over?
Yes.
I know you get the credit for them, but do they transition over?
Yeah, there's something that transitions over. The webinar goes through it, how that all happens. Yep. So there's a way that it apparently, I think, if I remember rightly, that the Speechcraft, the digital Speechcraft camp doesn't directly talk to the TI one. There's a join up that sort of has to happen. And I can't remember if it's putting in a number or something, but anyway, it's definitely in the video. Yep.
The second point I just wanted to make, Sue, was they mention in the copy around this digital bundle that it helps reach into the community, that it helps drive some new members perhaps to your club or to another club. And there's also an element of fundraising, and they do have it distinct from profit making to fundraising. It's very, very set out there. But there's another point that they make, that it also identifies prospective Toastmasters. Now, I asked this question. I was at that international webinar, and I put this question up several times, and it was not answered. And my question was, if they are being identified through Pathways, are they going to get unsolicited emails or contact from Toastmasters saying, hey, you're interested in joining Toastmasters? And then 6 months later, hey, you're interested in joining, because now they will have their contact details on their database. Now that wasn't answered. So I'm just putting that out there for you. Just be aware that that may or may not be happening with any people that you get. So just keep your eye on that to see if it's happening. I mean, that might be okay, but it's good that you know that potentially they may be getting some emails from Toastmasters. Emma, I don't know if you know the answer to that, but I didn't get my questions answered.
I was going to say, I think they'd have to have pretty strict rules around that anyway, because we have to tick things that say, yes or no to, you know, keeping details, and it'll probably be a surprise. So maybe we'll be able to find out, you know, from the first group that go through, or ask the participants who are joining your one and just say, hey, did you have an option that says don't send me stuff to tick?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because
I'm someone who likes to look at the product before I buy it. It's a bit like going to the shops and buying clothes and shoes. I hate buying online, those things. I like to see it and touch it. And I'm struggling that I can't actually touch it. But the fact that I could print off the guides, I'm saving trees, or maybe turning into compost. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Are there any more questions for this dynamic duo? Who would like to give it a go and try Speechcraft in their own club? Is anyone here? Anne, thank you. Michael? Christina?
Yes.
Okay. Daryl? Terrific. Well, there you go. Daryl, Christina, Anne, Michael, it'd be good to engage with your prospective host, your coordinator, whether it's Carl or Emma. Anne, did you have a question?
Yes, I would like to see this also for youth leadership. That's where my passion in this area really is. And I would really love to see it in youth leadership. So do you know if there's any chance of that happening?
To be honest,
go on, Emma.
Oh, no, I was going to say they didn't talk about it in the webinar, but, you know, we've already moved Speechcraft to it, so who knows, probably. I think with youth leadership, it just opens up more. I'm going to put my vulnerability and child safety hat on at the moment. I think it opens up a few more avenues that we'd need to really consider. So if it did become available, yes, you could access them via online. So whilst that would be great, I think we just need to be aware that, you know, you'd be on a digital platform then, and whilst you might hold those events in person, you'll still be liaising with them through a digital platform. Just something I'm just been working in that space at the moment, so it's a bit of a
yep. Okay. Yeah, I would naturally, you would have to be working with children check. Naturally, I would assume that it was a closed private group only to those people.
No, what I'm saying is it is. So once you get their details, you're just going to liaise directly with them. But I think because it opens up the fact that they're under, you know, 16 or under 18 or whatever age we've got them in it, it still does open up just a few, but I haven't heard of anything. If someone else has, great, sing out, but no, Carl hasn't. No, so go with the Digital Speechcraft one, see how that goes. And if you can still access the youth programs in hard copy, then you do that, right? So they haven't stopped any of the programs. None of the programs stopped. It's just transitioned to a digital layout. Yeah, which the kids would find easy. That's just it. They all snap up these things and go, oh, this is great. And they go, and you go, well, I'm lost. And they go, no, you go here. So, you know, I don't know. They're just smarter. I feel quite old at the moment.
Yes, Carl?
Just one final point. If any clubs are doing or know of a club that is doing the traditional paper Speechcraft, just be aware to get credit for that. You have to have done it by the end of June, from the 1st of July. Even if you have done it and you try to collect on the 15th of July, they will not accept it. Yeah, so just be aware, because I know that there are a couple of clubs, or one club, I think they've done 2 lots. They will need to make sure that they get theirs in before the end of June.
So try and make everything count, because part of being in the Toastmasters organisation, you can include so many different avenues of what you do. Everything you say, whether you're in leadership or any other aspect of Toastmasters, make it count, because it can go towards not only your own goals, but to support the club, and then in turn support the district. So good to see people engaging in the program. Are there any last questions for this dynamic duo, as I've called you before? Anyone, any more questions? Yes, Daryl.
It's just, you said about the Speechcraft before June. Does that mean that it has to be completed before June if you're a coordinator of one?
My understanding is the submission has to be done prior. So you need to get it in saying that you've done it by end of June.
It's completed.
Correct.
Oh, okay, because our club actually, Ballarat, is running a Speechcraft, but it rolls into part of June, just the dates. So it starts in May.
Oh, that's fine. It's just that, as long if you've got it, if you're saying it's rolling into June, but it's going to be completed in June, that's fine. It'll be from the 1st of July. So my suggestion would be, as soon as you're finished, get it done straight away. Don't dilly-dally for a few weeks. Get the submission in right away. We've done it. It's finished, and that's it.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Because Ron Pratt is the main behind that, but I'll catch up with him. That's why Tim's on here too, I gather.
And potentially you can email Toastmasters International and say that you're about to submit if you think there's any issue with it crossing over. And if you go to FAQ, which is the frequently asked questions, or down at the bottom of the Toastmasters International website, there is a site map. And in that site map, it tells you who to go to for whatever questions you have in regard to Toastmasters. So it's a really good resource, that site map. Vince, you have a question.
Yes, Emma, I enjoyed your presentation, Emma. You did say that the Speechcraft course can be run virtually or physically. Were there any trials done to see the efficacy, the comparative efficacy of running them virtually as compared to running them physically? I know it's early days.
That's a very good question, Vince. Very good question. No, I didn't, unless they mentioned it in the recordings. You know, I look at it, it's quite funny you mentioned the online component. My club meets online, and we're now just transitioning to a hybrid model. I'm someone who's looking at, you know, from everything from COVID really pushing us to communicate and connect differently. I'm looking at not just the traditional, like normal way that we would say present when we're in person and, you know, use of Stagecraft, but I'm trying to incorporate that into the online platforms and developing your skills in that area. So all my workshops that I run for work are all online. Everything's online. I do my breakout rooms, I present, and you know, you've got to have your content up. It's got to look good. It's got to be smooth. You've got to be engaged, you know, obviously through the camera. Wearing glasses doesn't help. It's a bit of a disaster for me. So it's, and I think it's helping push people from being in a seated position. I'm seated now. I try and do my club meetings standing up in front of the camera. Okay, so it makes me stop slouching. It's very easy to slouch. I don't know if I've answered your question, but no, I don't know if they have done any tests. They probably would have. So I don't know how effective it would be, but I think it comes down to your coordinator and the presenters and evaluators that you've got online with you, and how you want to think differently about presenting and engaging through the screen, but developing those skills. So you're putting a different spin. It's a different platform. You're not standing on a stage, you're standing on a camera.
I guess it might have an impact on how successful you might be or unsuccessful in recruiting Speechcrafters into a club and bringing them into the club. There may be a different effect from doing it physically as opposed to doing it virtually.
Yes, and that comes down to similar with your members. So I've got members in my club who said they would not come back until we had some physical presence. And then I've got half of the other part of the club who said we can only meet online. So I think it comes down to the individual, maybe thinking about who your target audience is. Who are you going to recruit into your course? If you're going to try and recruit people that you know will not engage online, you know, in that virtual platform or, you know, the video platform, no, don't bother with them. Go for your face-to-face, but they'll still access the materials online. So I think it comes down to your marketing. Marketing, who's your target audience? What are you trying to achieve? Who do you want to help support and grow and develop? Does that help?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I love all that stuff. It's fun. And now we've really gone over time. It's a good thing I talked for such a short time.
So far, we have some really valuable resources put in the chat box. If you are interested in downloading them, next to the word file, there are 3 dots. If you click on that, you can download the chat box and you'll have access to all of those resources in a document that you can download all the links later. So go to just to the right of where it says file, the 3 dots, click on that and save the chat. And that will have Emma and Michael's resources and the agenda already that have been shared in that chat box. So the links, everything else that's been shared as well. So thank you so much, Emma and Carl, and for your insight into Speechcraft, the online resources. Everything we have done today is all recorded, and all of that is available on the District 73 website to revisit, because there will be many things that you have heard today and you'll just want that reinforcement, like Emma said, with the Toastmasters International video that you can watch. You can also rewatch all of our workshops in Pathways and other resources shared from the district. So I'd love everyone to share their applause for Emma's session today. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you, Sue. Thanks, everyone. Been good to see you all virtually.